Do you know how to get to $100,000 every single month? The math. Do you know the math? Do you know how many calls it takes? Do you know how many closes it takes? Do you know how many people need to watch your VSL video, need to go to your webinar in order for you to scale past the revenue ceiling that you're at right now? Do you know the specific number, the data behind it? I know everyone shows you, oh, this is how you scale past 100K a month or 200K a month with XYZ unique mechanism, or this is the way, that's the way. Here's my $100,000 idea. No, but you know how to specifically get there and what the data is behind it. I'm RJ, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do the math to get to 6 figures a month and more and scale. Now let's get right into it. This is the exact math for coaches, consultants, and agency owners. Well, really anybody trying to get to that 100K a month mark, and you don't really know how to, right? And you just want to get there, okay? Whether you're stuck at 20, 30, 40, 50K a month trying to, hit your first $100,000 a month, right? The levers that we're going to be going over today are the big four: calls booked, show rate, close rate, and price, right? And so we're going to plug in some low-end numbers first and then give more of a realistic numbers that you might be going through, and then a little bit higher, okay? And so 20 calls, 55% show up rates, 25% close, and we have a 5K offer, okay? And so we're making, just under $14,000 a month, which isn't a lot, okay? And so do you see anything that you can improve on? If not, that's why you're stuck at the revenue ceiling that you're at right now. If you don't see anything you can improve on, right? Oh, more calls is probably your answer. More traffic, more leads. Well, what happens when you change actually one single variable? Okay, so we're going to go through every single pillar right now, the 4 pillars. Okay, so if you increase show rates and keep everything else the same, you get to 17.5K. Okay, if you increase the show rate by 10%, you go and scale to $24,500 a month. Now, if you get to 20 calls, from 20 calls to 30 calls, you get the most revenue in return, just under $37,000 a month. Okay, and so here you can see it a little bit better. Huh? All three together, you're just over $52,500. Same offer, same price, same ads. Right? You're not increasing traffic unless you really increase calls. But if you increase calls, it's not always gonna be from increasing traffic, right? And so, but all three together, like I said, you increase to a little over $52,500. Okay, and now we're gonna plug a little bit higher numbers in. So you're at 40 calls, 60% show rates, 30% close rate, and a 5K offer. Okay, and you're doing $36,000 a month, right? A little bit bigger, nothing too crazy yet, right? And so your show rates are 60%. If we move them to 75%, it's not that crazy of a move. 40 calls, 75%, 30 showed up, 30% close rate. At a 5K offer, you're at $45,000 every single month. Okay, 9K from 36 that you were doing, right? You're not really increasing any leads here. Okay, you're just fixing one thing. And so if you move the close rate to 30% to 40% on cold traffic, that's pretty damn hard. Okay, on warm traffic, obviously, like you should be closing 30, 40, or even higher. You're probably closing higher than that on warm traffic, right? With the 60% show up rate, 24 people showed up times 40%, and you're at $48,000 every single month. Okay, you're up 12K, right? Which is bigger number, bigger, more revenue, obviously, right? And so if you move calls up, right, regardless of how you do this, with more traffic, increasing your show rate, right? Indirectly is going to, or directly will increase your calls, right? And then you will increase your close rate probably, right, over time. Okay, enough reps, right? And if you move your calls from 40 to 55, you will just be making a little under $50,000 every single month. Okay, and so all three together, you're going to be making $82,500 if you change all of them. Okay, and so same offer, same price, same niche, no offer changes, nothing really too crazy, right? And so you don't really change your price, you don't really change your niche, you don't really change your offer. What is the easiest and fastest way to scale past the ceiling you're at right now, and what to change. What can I 2x the fastest and the simplest in the same exact day to experience results tomorrow? That's the thing we need to answer, right? And so which one from the biggest four here, there's a numerous amount of data points. I'm not including this. I just want this to hit home and really for this to make sense to you. What is the easiest and fastest, change that we could do right now? So if we do more calls, it means more ad spend, more content, or just more outreach time, just getting more traffic, right? And so more ad spend is you want to raise budget. This is what you get pitched on every day. Ad agencies, I can run your ads, this, that, and the third, right? More calls is gonna directly be one of these three, right? Just more traffic through the funnel. Spending more time on outreach if you're still doing that, or content. You're probably not doing that right now unless you're doing like mass scale of emails or something along the lines of that. But anyway, better close rate, you're like this can take a while, right? And so you either need to train yourself and do the reps and get feedback loops, or you just need to hire better talent, right? And hiring better talent takes time. It takes weeks too. And you getting good at sales, or better at sales, I should say, take the sales training, an infinite amount of time for you to complete a sales training, get the training, put the reps in, get feedback, put more reps in. You know what I mean? So it's a massive feedback loop that's going to take weeks, if not a couple months, for you actually to master and process and increase that show rate or close rate, right? And show rate fix just what happens between when somebody books a call with you and somebody hops on a call with you, right? And so like if you don't know the answer, like I kind of left it for the last one, and it is increasing show rates. If you do something today, it's going to directly impact you for tomorrow, right? And you're going to get wins tomorrow, if not later today. Like if I did it this morning, changed a little bit, I'm going to see it by tonight when somebody hops on a call, right? Or books a call, we'll see it by the time they get on the phone, right? Within it's tomorrow, later tonight or the next day, right? And so that's kind of like what I want to, hit home for you is to, the last one on here is show rate. So let's go back here. And for these numbers here, right? You're not going to make the most revenue, obviously, from increasing your show rate. But once you dial in your show rates from this example, 60 to 75%, you're going to get that many more shows. You're going to increase your revenue to a month, $9,000 more on average. And then once you have a dialed in show rate, you get your show rates to there. You can go in and be like, okay, let's do this bottleneck analysis again. Like, what can I increase now? What can I 2x, right? My show rate's already pretty good, right? It wasn't able to 2x because you can't get 120% show rates, but it increased by 15%, which increased my revenue per month $9,000. Okay, and so am I able to spend more money on ads now? Yes. Am I able to make more content? Yes. Okay. Am I able to have more calls anyway now? I'm already having more calls, so my calls is going to go up regardless if I get more shows. So this might just be out of the question unless I want to scale calls again, right? And then at this point, if all the data in your funnel looks fine, I would just increase ad spend, right? I would just scale that thing. You know what I mean? But you're probably going to have a different, bottleneck besides the big four, right? And so in the big four here, most of the time you're not going to change your price, right? You're not going to change it unless you want to charge more, which it's completely up to you. I would just do a ascending offer and get more LTV and charge the same, and then upsell them on the back end on some sort of different offer or masterminds or more coaching or something different, right? You just get more LTV. So close rate would be the next move here, which takes the longest amount of time. So I would do the close rate and then something else in your bottleneck when you find it, right? In order to get find your bottleneck here based on all the data, you just have to take a step back, right? Stop being in the weeds, taking a step back, and just think, where is somebody stopping? Where is somebody leaving in my funnel? Where's the leak? Like, where can I patch this leak in order for me to get more revenue on the other side? Because that's what you truly want. You just want to scale and get more revenue. Just consistently bring in that number, right? And move past that number. Fix a bottleneck and move past the next number. Fix a bottleneck and move past that number. It's just, it's back and forth, right? And so once you have something that's proven and you fix that bottleneck, that is where you apply pressure. That's where you apply the ads. That's where you go all in on content. That's where you get more leads. That's where you get more traffic, right? And a lot of you get this so backwards and so wrong, right? You have to get proof of concept first, and that's when you scale. If you don't have correct proof of concept, you're not going to have a good time with ads. If you don't have a good time with ads, you're going to blame yourself or the people you hired or Meta, right? Which I've heard, which is crazy, right? It's always but anyway, that's a story for a different time, okay? And so, right, and off those three numbers alone, like call volume, show rate, and close rates, it's going to be the show rate. So that's going to be the quickest and easiest and the simplest for you to do. Now, how do you actually do that? I have another video that goes pretty in depth on the nurture window framework. And it goes in depth on everything you see here plus more. Okay, confirmation page videos, multiple. You can have as many as you want. Okay, explaining. Not only just the generic, BS like, oh, make sure to confirm your call and your email, You're gonna answer questions, expectations, common objections. You're gonna, nurture the hell out of people in these videos because they're in scanner mode. Okay, when they first go through your funnel, once they book a call, they're thinking to themselves, okay, they need to prove it to themselves. It's worth it to show up. What are you presenting in front of them? Are you just sending them calendar reminders? Are you just, putting make sure to confirm your call in your email and then a little bit of a video, which isn't great, right? You need just a main video, 1 to 2 minutes long, and then you need multiple different videos, like I was just saying, right? Questions, objections, common, concerns. What's a bad client going to do? What's a good client look like for you and your organization and your services? Do a video on, LLMs, right? Search yourself up on Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever you prefer, or do a Reddit search, do a Trustpilot, do, whatever you have reviews on in your organization. Just, look at it and do a video. That gains so much trust, right? There's multiple different videos you can go in and do and have on your confirmation page, but those are just to name a few, right? And like I said, I have another video. Go check it out. If you don't have a good confirmation page, and most of you guys don't, right? And that's why your show rates are struggling. And like another thing you could do is closer best practices, right? Close your voice note, close your selfie video. You can call them. Have your starter calls them, but most of the time nowadays they're not going to pick up, right? These leads aren't going to pick up a lot. Like, do you enter your phone? Like, my phone's on do not disturb right now, right? I'm probably not going to pick up a phone call. You know what I mean? So give them like a voice note, a selfie video, a engagement bait, perhaps like just for them to respond back. Be like, hey, like, I'm taking a look at your application, like, I got a couple of videos for you based on, what you said and yada yada on this question. I got 2 videos for you. Let me know if you want me to send them over. They're going to help a lot going forward. Better understand our program, better understand like how we can have you succeed with us, right? It's very easy to have your closers do that, or you can have your setters do that and have your setters nurture these leads throughout the process, right? And then they get on the call with the closer already nurtured and educated, right? And have, better yet, like I have, we've had clients go through the process of having their setters, kind of qualified, right? Still doing their job, and then nurturing these prospects and having the closers reach out to the people as well. Just double hitting them, some combos there, right? And so like, if you're doing that and having these two in place, like, why wouldn't they show up, right? Unless it's like a crazy circumstance. You know what I mean? So a lot of you don't do these things, right? And so you're just losing to your competitors who are doing these things. They're getting more calls, they're getting more show-ups, getting more revenue, right? And call timing is another thing that you probably should be worried about if you're in the B2B market. Um, in like service-based businesses, right? Or for B2C, like meetings, like if somebody's booking during their 9 to 5, if they're working at a meeting or they're on lunch, and I really focus on the call with you, or I've been on calls personally with, the business owner was, eating a sandwich and driving a truck. You know what I mean? Between jobs. It's like, okay, bro, like, let's reschedule here. Like, I'm not going to waste my time. And it's really a waste of your time, even thinking, like, we can do this properly and focus on your business while you're, driving a truck and, eating at the same time, right? And we want to truly, go forward with something that I can help you with, then we're going to take it seriously and go for it, right? And you probably feel the same way, okay? So anyway, the nurture window framework. So let's get right into it. It's going to be a brief overview. Like I said, I have another video on this, but it's 4 core pieces of the strategy plus closer best practices that indirectly is a part of the strategy. I kind of went over it, but there's way more to it. So we have a combination of organic videos, value dense emails, SMS, and retargeting ads if you have the budget and you have the enough volume for retargeting ads. Okay, if you're running ads currently, okay, you don't have to be scaling, or you don't have to be running ads to scale, right? And so that's might change a lot of minds here and beliefs, but you don't, right? And so organic videos, what are these? Okay, short and long form. You're presenting a lot of information to your leads, depending on what niche you're in. They do better with emails or short and long form content, right? If you're blue collar niche, working with those type of people, they don't like videos. They prefer SMS and value dense emails, right? They go through the emails, a lot of them, right? They love their text. So I would even position your confirmation page. Give us a lot of text. Have a little bit of, like, a couple videos cut in half or a third even. You know what I mean? And make them short, really short videos for the blue collars, and have a lot of text there, bullet points, FAQ type of styles, right? And so for your the videos, present the information in front of them that you want to present them, right, before a call, so they fully understand your offer, fully understand your services, and what they need to know, what you want them to know before even working with you. If you're doing coaching, right, you have to have them learn a lot of stuff and know, like, what's up for you to coach them, right? In order for you to do better is for them to do better, right? And so if you're a service-based business or consultant, like, it's the same kind of thing, okay? It qualifies them even more before they get on the call, and it helps a lot, either if you're taking your own calls or if you have a closer in place, right? So value dense emails, you are going to include some of your videos, right? You're going to be repurposing your sales assets in these videos, and these your sales assets in these emails, okay? And so every single day, it depends on your niche, depends on how long you've been using value dense emails to incorporate this strategy. But start off with 3 to 5 every single day. See what your open rates are. If they're low, okay, increase it, right? Increase it. If they're high, you can keep it just like that. And then if your show up rate's high as well, then you're good game, right? If their email rate open rates are lower, obviously you need to remake them, and if your show up rates are high, then you don't really need to change anything, okay? Just go through your data, spot your bottleneck, and then move on from there, right? And so now we have SMS, okay? So you're likely sending SMS reminders, which is great. Keep those. And I would also use this SMS to, more as reminders, and to, send people to different aspects of this strategy, right? And so I only say that because if your setter is contacting these people and building that relationship, sending the videos, you are not going to need SMS besides call times and reminders. That's it. Like, if your setter's going to be nurturing them the entire way, contacting them, texting them back and forth, they don't need SMS nurturing. right? That's covered, and it is significantly better for a setter or a closer just to contact these people, nurture them, and get on the call rather than, having your go high level it, phone number, green text, contact these people, and just spam them with nurturing content or whatever. Um, just hope for the best, right? You're not going to do that. And retargeting ads, it's kind of self-explanatory. Um, you should be targeting people with short and long form. You need 50 booked calls and 150 people every single week in this audience. And so most of you guys aren't going to be doing that. And then, but anyway, we'll move on. Closer, best practices and setter best practices. So there's a lot of smaller stuff that I won't mention here on the good old YouTube. I mention a lot of what your setters and closers can do and what yourself should be doing to increase show rates and increase close rates. And it's just contacting them and nurturing them yourself, right? And building that relationship prior to the call. It's going to do a lot. And I'm not going to say that enough, right? I say it all the time in all my videos, a couple of different things, right? You don't need more traffic or leads to scale, and building that relationship before a call yourself is going to dramatically change the way the lead looks at you and your organization, and how he presents the call and is willing to show up to it, right? And that's what you do. If your bottleneck show rates, you need to focus on this, and it's the easiest way to go about fixing a lot of your problems after when somebody books a call forward, right? Show rates and close rates. Okay, it's one of the easiest things to do. Incorporate some organic aspects into your nurturing. Incorporate some more emails rather than your Calendly ones or your bogus reminders, right? Do SMS, but cut back on it, and you start building that relationship with the prospect yourself, right? And you are going to see an increase in demand in your services, an increased demand in people booking calls, increased demand on people actually wanting to pay you money, and then you will scale. You're not going to be spending more money on ads. You're not going to be making more content. You already have the traffic source. You don't need to be worrying about that. You need to find proof of concept. You need to increase your show rates. You need to increase your close rates. You need to find out where your leak is. Then, and only then, you double your ad spend. Then you will find another bottleneck, and then you need to keep spending money, patch that bottleneck, and then double your ad spend again. And that's when you just really scale the hell out of your business. Okay? And so if you want this done for you, and you want me to tell your bottlenecks, go over your data, I always like to go over this quote. So eliminate, automate, delegate, and procrastinate. Never automate something that can be actually eliminated, and never delegate something that can be automated or streamlined. Otherwise, you waste someone else's time instead of your own, which now wastes your hard-earned money. Okay? And so the point I'm trying to make here is, like I've been saying, you don't need more leads, you don't need more traffic to scale. What you need is to figure out what is wrong inside your business. And if it is that, then so be it. But you need to be very correct there, because it's expensive. It gets pricey. And I don't want you to waste more money, because everyone's been burned in this industry, right? And so if you want to talk to me for 15 to 30 minutes, we can break down your data. We can talk very immensely what's your bottlenecks and what you're trying to do moving forward. And if we're a good fit, I can help you out with that. So if that's interesting to you, go ahead and book a call down below. Okay, and if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe if you'd like to, and go check out my other content. Talk soon.